So they were, they had a production company or whatever, like trying to put together this girl group to replace Dream on Arista Records. So I got into that group.
Oh.
Now I'm dreaming about you too.
I was in that group for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I auditioned for Dream because Dream's better in every way and already was successful. And so, the Arista group was kind of like, we had just kind of gotten together and done some video stuff and rehearsing this song and dancing and stuff like that. And they were kind of shopping it to the label. So it wasn't like we were signed or anything. I wasn't like, bailing out on some big contract.
And I take it like nothing came of that band.
No, nothing came of that. And it was, when we did tell them, I'm very seriously like, potentially going to be, initiated into Dream, they were like, yeah, but you could be the lead singer in this group and da-da-da-da. And I was like, still no. Thanks, bitch, bye. I'm out. Which is funny because I met one of my other best friends in that group and she's still one of my best friends to this day. The girl that did I'm a Slave for You. What are the music videos on MTV where they have someone recreate it like a fan becoming, and then they recreate the music video. So the girl that did I'm a Slave for You and she like pretended to be Britney Spears and recreate the video. She was in that group. So it was 4 girls. Okay. Natalie. It was Natalie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember her last name, but I have a picture of us together, the 4 of us girls. Anyway, so that's just a little tidbit. It was actually quite a good amount of time. I want to say like a month or 2 before which seemed like forever, before they initiated me into the group. Like, this is official and you're here. We kind of just hung out quite a bit. In the meantime, there wasn't any like major tours. There was just kind of recording stuff happening and I'd go to the studio or I'm trying to think of what else we would do, like parties, but nothing really super official. I think the very first thing I ever did with the girls was standing in the shadows of Motown premiere in LA. And that was, we got to see Shaka Khan perform after the premiere, which is like, I'm dead. It's amazing. It was my first like celebrity experience or like red carpet experience, which was just incredible.
Yeah.
But I remember that was even a time where I don't think they had either just told me that I had gotten into the group or I was still kind of like in a limbo phase. I remember it was a month or 2. I can't really put my finger on it, but it felt like a long amount of time where it was like, oh, we still don't know, we're still testing things out, but we really like her and whatever. And I think it was when Puffy had asked to fly me out to New York to see me and like see what I could do, and they had me kind of like ad lib on the spot to this track in the studio to like sing to this track and just make up a song to this track. I'm like, okay. I remember surprising myself in how well I did because I was absolutely just like nervous out of my mind. Harv Pierre was there and Puffy never ended up being there. But I took my brother was my chaperone. So my brother was there with me. We stayed in New York for like 3 days or something just to do that. And I can't even, honestly, I just visited Bad Boy. I brought my brother sitting in Puffy's office and then Harv came in, but Puffy wasn't there yet doing something else. So I was told I was going to meet Puffy, but I didn't. So I ended up meeting Puffy after I was officially in the group. So that was like the final icing on the cake of like, okay, after you fly to New York, we can, we get the approval, the stamp of approval from the label, you can be initiated into the group, like officially, you're an official member. So I don't know the timeline exactly, but I do know that it was like a month or 2, I think, possibly on the 2-month end. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I take it your family were just like elated that you were in the band finally. Probably a big
Oh,
celebration.
yeah. Everyone just couldn't believe it. My friend Ashley, who loved Dream, was like,
Pitch me a moment.
Lord, she's like, I can't believe you're in Dream. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
come from this kind of just smaller bubble of people. There's like, this is so cool. So definitely
Awesome.
very supportive. Very supportive. Yeah.
Nice. When you made the band, when you were in, I take it like you were still kind of in school, were people finding out you were in the band and were they kind of treating you differently, or people like kind of sucking up to you at that point, or?
I think at the time, whatever might have happened with that felt good. The attention or extra attention that I might have received, I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I think it became kind of old actually after I was in Dream. And, you know, my time in Dream was pretty short. It was under 2 years. So I did notice like that, you know, I was invited to proms and things of people that I hardly knew. Like people, I mean, I was like within a year span, I had like 13 guys ask me. I'm like, I went from no one asking me out to like a bunch of people giving me extra attention. I was like, it is kind of, I could see how a celebrity would feel. And I don't at all consider myself, if there is a celebrity scale, I'm at the very bottom of that. But I could see how like people who are genuinely like celebrities feel they don't know who they can trust and who they feel as being genuine with them. Or if they're putting it on, you know, if they're putting on their relationship with them, which can, I mean, absolutely feel just really shitty, to be honest. Because it did feel like that to me in some ways. I was like, oh, and at times I kind of felt like maybe someone used me as like a prop, you know, for their social status or something, and then kind of like left me high and dry to like wasn't really interested in me, just kind of brought me to a dance or this or that, or you know, that kind of felt a little bit of a bummer. I don't think I really had friendship. My friendships stayed the same, like with the girls in the group. They were my only friends pretty much. And then my friends from before Dream, they were all the same. I found it really strange that like people wanted my autograph. Like my neighbor's kids wanted like my autograph. I'm like, I didn't even know that they knew I was in a pop group, little, and like you saw me when I was 12 years old. Like they want my autograph now. I don't understand. All that just seemed like really kind of like, whoa, like a little bit of a tailspin there of how it all happened and snowballed to what it was. But I'm glad that the fame level never went beyond what it was, because I think I'm super private and I like having anonymity. So it was nice to not be recognized everywhere. I'll just say that.
Okay. What was it like as a whole, dancing for who I'm assuming was your choreographer, Lorianne Gibson? How was she?
Well, at the time, my perspective of Lorianne is different than probably what I would say now. But at the time, I did feel like Lorianne was a bit hard on me. Just from her experience. I mean, I highly respect like what she's been through in the industry. She's been everywhere. I mean, she's choreographed for everyone. She's worked her ass off. So I don't have anything to say on that. Like I bow down. She's extraordinary talent. Her work ethic, everything about her dedication. She's incredibly talented. But I will say the methods that she used are they work. However, I do think I was blind to it at the time that she can be a bit too strict with children that are not her own. We were children. We were not just performers. Used some pretty harsh language with young ladies who are already like, you know, maybe we didn't deserve the success we had. Maybe we hadn't worked as hard as she had, you know, and some of that was kind of in our faces sometimes. Like we were lucky, and especially me, because I got into a group that already had paved the way for me. And so I felt like she was especially hard on me when I first got into the group to try and break me in and to try and get me to a place where the other girls were somehow.
Yeah.
But I mean, you couldn't rush that really if you tried. But I mean, there were other aspects that I was dealing with at the same time. I was, being told by Puffy I needed to lose 8 pounds for the video, and I was being that's a little bit of tea right there for you.
Yeah.
I was being worked really hard by trainers that at the time, like the Atkins diet was really in. Like my energy was so low, I had no carb intake. I was on birth control, and my whole body was just in this like entire mess that I was being overworked. I was under eating. It just kind of felt like all eyes on me all the time. I was like binge eating when I was alone, and like, the emotional pain and stuff of what was going on, and like all of that. And then on top of that, someone that I trusted, like Lorian, who I really did feel cared about me, but just showed it in a different way. Being hard on me and everything. It was a bit much. It was a bit much.
Yeah.
And I already was a hard worker. I was someone who wanted to do this, and I knew the cost of it, and I was prepared to work as hard as I could. And so she was an incredible choreographer. She really helped me a lot as far as like my performance and my skill. I really appreciate her support still to this day. However, my critique would just be that I was a child. I was 15. I was 16. Girls in particular, I feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially on girls who are mentally like dealing so much with their weight and with their identity and all that. I mean, so that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say is just she contributed to that. Probably some of that like mental angst that I had. I don't know if she's, if she would have anything to say about that, but I really appreciated her and Richard Jackson, who is a really huge choreographer now, but the way that they supported us, not only like in the studio and through their choreography, but also outside of it. We hung out a lot in LA. We hung out, we went to movies, we went to, we went to eat. We enjoyed each other's company also, and they were very encouraging off of the dance floor, like outside of the studio. Lorian and Dickie were both very encouraging to me. It was just mostly like when we were in the studio, not Dickie, but Lorian was pretty like harsh. So yeah, that's my impression of her. But I mean, I love her to death though. I really think she's amazing. And she did what she knew how to do, to get the result that she needed. So
when like you were brought into the group, I understand that a couple of the songs that ended up being on reality were already recorded, like I Am Woman, and I think Why Me was actually recorded. So you went in and obviously did your own vocals on Where Melissa Would Have Been. Was your vocal like role in the group lower harmony or alto?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah. So for the most part, I did the lower harmonies whenever we had them. I think that actually Crazy may have been the lowest harmony that I did. That was really, really hard for me to do.
No, I could hear
yes.
I could distinctly hear you because I have this like editing software where I can like kind of strip the vocals, and I could definitely like hear you like under like and below doing like the la 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 la, like I could definitely tell that it's you.
Was I doing a harmony, or was it actually the melody that I was doing in an octave lower?
I'm not sure like what. Yeah, I think Diana was high. I think
it was so low. I'm telling you,
I was going to say your voice sounded so low. It was really impressive.
I want to hear that. I want you to send that to me, because
I definitely will.
I just remember being like, I can't. My voice is like cracking. But they did end up getting me to that place somehow. Where I was able to go that low.
I'm crazy about you, I gotta have you, 'cause I like the way that you make me feel going for you. I'm crazy about you, I gotta have you, 'cause I like the way that you make me feel going for you.
Yeah, so touched on Crazy. So what was the first, so other than the two other songs that were pre-recorded, what was your first experience, if you can remember, like the first song that was on an album that you did in full?
That I did in full. I'm trying to remember what the very first, I mean, I remember several songs that I did the full song. I don't know if they came onto the album. I do remember It Could Happen. That was a big deal because that was one of the biggest songs that they were like, oh, this could be a single and this and that. You know, the producer was a big producer and like this, you know, the sample, whatever, sounded great. And I remember the hype being big around that song before we went into the studio to record it, and then having to write my own interlude to that song that I was given. That was the task. They gave me a task of writing that interlude for that song. So I remember writing that and recording It Could Happen. Yeah, that was a big deal to me. I mean, that song was a really big deal. I remember it being at, I think, Babyface's studio or something like that. I'm like, I'm in Babyface's studio. This is a really big deal. So yeah, maybe I'll go with that one because I remember recording with Wade. I remember going in and doing Why Me, I Am Woman, little tidbits here and there, and putting in harmonies here and there so I could be on the song for the album.
Nice.
I know Melissa had already recorded some of the Why Me or I Am Woman, one of those two or both, and then they put me still into the song to re-record. I think one of them I like re-recorded the bits that she had done, and it wasn't a big deal, so I just did like a couple little like ad-libby, like breathy Why Me or like something like that, you know, and then did some harmonies. And I remember that being a big deal because I was a huge Wade Robson fan. I was like, I'm in Wade Robson's house recording music. And then I remember It Could Happen. I remember another song that we did at Clockwork Studios in Hollywood that I can't remember the name of. I wish I did. Maybe it was Bring It Back. How does Bring It Back go? Shoot. But that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
I know some of the songs got cut from the album too. That
3 of them did, which I thought were actually kind of. I mean, the whole album's great, but
like,
you know,
better. Yeah, that they should have been on.
I would have cut Clap and maybe Sitting Here. It's kind of, I like Sitting Here sometimes, but you know.
Yeah, those two are kind of like fillers. They're kind of filler songs.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. I agree with you. I heavily agree. We probably have similar tastes because, like, I love Why Me. I know that you and I have talked about that.
Yeah.
I know this is my interview, but can you tell me a little bit about how you got introduced to Dream? Like, I know you gave me a little bit of information.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of...
Because I know you became a fan later, right? You became a fan, like, after Dream broke up and everything.
So it was 2018, and you know the YouTube channel watchmojo.com where, like, they have, like, the top 10s and all that? Like,
oh, no, I don't. I'm too old for that.
That's right. So basically, they're like a quite big channel where they like count down like top 10 movies or something like that. And there was, it's kind of disrespectful to you guys, but there was one title, Top 10 Forgotten Girl Groups. And
Number 1, Dream.
And I was like, oh, okay, I haven't heard of them. I'll get into them.
Oh, that's really cool. I love that Dream was like a time capsule for you, even though like it had broken up earlier, that it still could be impactful. Like that really means a lot that someone somewhere is listening to Dream and that it meant something to them. That's like that's the coolest thing about all of it. So
thanks
for sharing.
It's all right. Yeah, I'm really hoping that reality can come back onto streaming because I understand it was up there for a long time and then all of a sudden
it was. I remember. So I don't know why it's not.
Yeah.
That would be amazing to get the music back in circulation. I think the way I realized it wasn't anymore was my daughter was asking about Dream and I was like, here, I'll play it for you, mommy's voice and everything. And I wasn't able to find it again. I was like, wait, I thought it already was. Like, I thought I was able to stream it before. Was that just in my imagination? I was like, kind of like baffled that I couldn't find it anymore. So now I'm like, oh, now I really have to go back into my CDs somewhere tucked away.
Oh,
But yeah, that would be amazing. That would be really cool if we could band together and
get it back on.
petition to get it on. Yeah.
2002, 2003, the album's recorded. Everything seems to be done. Do you remember the first time that Diddy came in with Crazy, and maybe did you hear the demo? And I know that you guys weren't a fan of it, but were you all in the room when you first heard it? And how was your reaction to it?
Really good question.